8B, discuss and consider adopting a resolution of Town Council affirming the Second Amendment to the U.S. Constitution as requested by Paradise Tea Party and placed on the agenda by Councilman Bolin and Councilman Rawlings. So,
Your show.
it's your item, gentlemen.
Well, the reaffirmation of our oath of office is something that none of us as American citizens have to be told by another agency that about our beliefs in our country. And I've given this oath 3 times in my life, once to the United States Army, once to the Norfolk City Police Department, and once to the Town of Paradise. When you give an oath like this, most people, and maybe I can't say most people, but some people, when they take an oath, they just look at it as part of the fanfare and let's get it done and move on. Well, when you listen to the words and you pay attention to what's being said, it carries a heavy responsibility with it. And that is, if we fail, we sit on our hands and just say, well, it's not my job to do it, let's let somebody else do it. And the next thing you know, our rights are then eroded away, and we will wind up, instead of fighting in the halls of elected councils and elected state agencies and federal agencies, it could very well wind up being a fight much worse than this. We need to always be cognizant of our responsibilities to protect our rights as citizens. And I'm not talking just the Second Amendment, I'm talking every constitutional right we have. And they're to be valued and they're to be cherished. And as a veteran and as an American citizen, certainly, we haven't asked for a vote yet, but I think y'all know which way I'm going to go. And that's pretty much it. I feel like it's a responsibility of all of us. And whether you agree or disagree, that's one of the great things about our country. We have that right. And so that's what I have to say about that. I mean, we look at all of the veterans from the Revolutionary War all the way down to the present wars, but especially those who fought in World War II. It's a smack in their face, the way I look at it, to let our rights erode because somebody won't stand up and say, yes, I'm standing up for the Constitution of the United States. And, Second Amendment tonight.
Well, I want to open it up to the public, but I just want to say that in light of things that have been going on lately, I think this is worth the discussion. It's not something that we should take lightly, and I think it's very important. So I want to open it to the public and then comment on it after that.
Okay. So we'll open it up, and do we have any cards, Madam Clerk?
I have 6 cards, and my first card is from Fred Alter.
Remind him we're just calling them in alphabetical order. And if you want to speak, please fill out a card now, because I'm not going to let people play games by not filling out a card so they get to be the last speaker. So be forewarned, when I'm vice mayor and in charge, that's the rules. So Mr. Harvey, if you're going to speak, you need to fill out a card. Okay, so 3 minutes, clock's running.
Clock's running. I got a little pause here because I still have a visual of Woody driving a cop car through Fresno.
Yeah. You know what? Come on, you want to write on? We can make a video of that.
I'm not going with you. I don't want to go.
Hey, you're using your 3 minutes, Fred.
Last month, we sent you the 48 bills that are currently proposed in the California legislature. These bills include things such as 5 cent per bullet tax. They'll call it a fee. $1 million insurance policy for all gun owners, background checks and waiting periods just to buy ammo, and one legislator actually proposed outlawing all guns and having them confiscated. And you might say, no, that's not going to happen here. Well, take just a minute. Keep in mind, California has one party with a supermajority. These bills are being proposed by that party. They can pass anything they want to pass. These are the same people that have placed unfunded mandates, burdens on every city in the state. The same people that helped put us in a financial crisis that we're in today. And you guys know that as well as anybody. These things can happen. This should not be a red or blue issue. This is an American issue. Someone said, why not just reaffirm our commitment to the Constitution as a whole? We have several answers. The entire Constitution is not under attack yet. It would dilute the message that we stand united defending the Second Amendment. It does not prove our commitment or convictions to a single issue. And also, please keep in mind that Section 1 of our resolution firmly states, uphold and defend the Constitution. That means the whole Constitution. Nothing further need be added. This resolution was started in El Dorado County. It has been approved and rewritten to better fit Paradise by an attorney. It's easy to read, to the point, and requires no modification. As you know, Paradise Tea Party had a speakers forum a couple of weeks ago with Sheriff Smith, his undersheriff, and a firearms self-defense instructor speaking on this very issue. Councilman Bolin was there, and I think he can tell you there was over 230 Second Amendment supporters there, and the meeting lasted 2.5 hours. Americans, your constituents, care about this issue. We respectfully ask you to join Butte County Sheriff, many more sheriffs across the United States that have claimed constitutional sheriff status. Join El Dorado County, Butte County, the city of Gridley, that have already passed similar resolutions. If you're here tonight to support the Second Amendment, I wish you please stand up. We ask that you pass this resolution tonight as presented to show your support of the Second Amendment and the Constitution. Thank you.
My last card is from Gary Schellenberger.
Council member, I'm a member of Paradise Community, been here for 42 years. It's been around a while. When you took the oath of office and made your pledge to the flag of the United States, you did that, I hope, hopefully, the first time you meant it. If you have to reaffirm it, there must have been some reservation in the back of your head. I'll take this part and I'll leave that part, I'll take this part and I'll leave that part, I'll take this part and I'll leave that part. I think it's inappropriate for any particular part of the Constitution, any part of it, the rights of speech, free speech, the right to petition the government, my right of habeas corpus, my right of any things in the Constitution be upheld for any particular reason at all. If you take the oath of office to support the Constitution, you do it in full at that time, not just a piece of it. And you don't hold up another piece of it to make it better than the rest of it. And that's what it is an appearance to me. If you take the Second Amendment and you hold it up here and you say the First Amendment doesn't count here, and the Third, and the Fourth, and the Fifth, and the Sixth, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, or the main body of the Constitution, for crying out loud. When you took your oath of office and you made your pledge to the flag of the United States of America, like I did when I joined the Navy, I put my life on the line. I supported the whole Constitution. When I took my office as a member of the Butte County Democratic Central Committee, that doesn't mean I still have to support the Constitution of the United States. I took an oath of office when I was elected to that position. And also the state of California. but the whole Constitution, not just a piece of it. And I'm not going to hold this part of up and this part down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schallenberger. Next card?
That's the part.
That's it. Okay. Very good. Thank you for everybody for keeping your comments within the time, so they don't run long. So, gentlemen, have any further comments? Mr. Colton, do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I just want to say, when I took the oath, I did it for the whole Constitution. It was not for parts I didn't like or I did like. It was for the whole thing. Unfortunately, the Second Amendment is being put under attack right now. It's not. I didn't do that. It's being done. It's in the news all the time. You hear it. I heard it on the way over here of what was going on with the Second Amendment. And it's sad to watch us allow that just to rot away. And we're giving away our freedoms little by little. And we do that in subtle ways. And we keep doing that to a point that we're gonna give away all of our freedoms. I believe in all of them. I believe the Second Amendment is very important. It's there for enemies, foreign and domestic. Unfortunately, I'm afraid it's getting to be more domestic than it is foreign right now. And the government is not the solution to this problem. The government is the problem itself, and the direction it's heading and the direction it's going. And I'm really concerned with what's going on. So I don't put a deer in our by our name, Dustin. I don't do that. That didn't even come up until you brought it up. It's not a deer or a thing. It's, do you trust or do you believe in what the forefathers brought to us? And this is the time they saw this coming up. What's happening today is why they put that in this. And it's important. And yeah, we don't have any way of changing laws here. All we can do is make a stance and say, look, this is important, and pass that on to elected officials. And that's why I thought it was important enough to bring it to the council.
I would like to follow up by saying that this same discussion took place in 1791 when it was confirmed or affirmed by the Continental Congress to protect that all Americans have the right to bear arms and to protect our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. When I took my oath, I took it for the entire Constitution. But right now, this one is under attack, as Councilman Bolin has said. And I see he is shaking out there, but and one thing else I'd like to point out too. You can't put a label on and turn this into a political football, because it's not. Now, if you think it is, then you've got to go back and rethink, because we're all Americans, regardless of what party we belong to. And we all have a responsibility to defend this nation. And it starts with each and every one of us, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican or independent. There is no label. Somebody asked one time, what does an American look like? Nobody can answer that question, because they come in all sizes, shapes, colors, ethnic backgrounds, and they are wonderful people because they have always given of their lifeblood. To every nation on this earth. So, being an American and not a Republican, I certainly do support the entire Constitution and our right to bear arms and defend this nation against all enemies. When I ran for this position, this office here, it's the first time I've ever ran for any political office, but I got tired of sitting around watching the attacks and watching government have their way with us, so to speak. So I decided I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to use my years of experience as a municipal supervisor from back east. Doesn't make any difference where I'm from. I'm still an American, even though it is on the East Coast. But the point is, we have to remind ourselves every morning of whose responsibility is it. It is yours. When you look in that mirror every morning, you're looking at a vital part of this nation. I would advise all of us not to abuse it and not to take it for granted. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, can I talk now?
No.
You know what,
You're not limited on your time.
I'm not.
Well, maybe we'll limit you
Okay.
personally. I'll start the
If
time.
I'm gonna drive a police car through Fresno, I'm gonna need to run, I'm gonna tell you that. No, you know what, I appreciate everybody's comments, and I really wanna, I wanna say a couple of things about, it's really difficult sometimes up here, and some of the folks that have been up here before, know that. I mean, when the public, the constituents come and they wanna say things, and they feel real strongly about what they say. It was really interesting, I don't remember if it was Ray or Fred that asked it, but he asked, anybody that believes in the Second Amendment, stand up. And I watched most of the room stand up. And what I know is, that it was nonpartisan. Democrats stood up and Republicans stood up. Conservatives stood up and liberals stood up. And I thought that was cool. And then people made comments. And I really appreciate the comments that were made by the Tea Party tonight that brought this thing to us. They were respectful, they were factual, and they were brief. And they made their point, and I appreciated that. I really took offense when Justin got up there and started making threats. I've been in other rooms with political people that have made threats at the league conference and different places where I've been, where they make threats. Well, we would suffer the blowback if we vote for this. That does no, you're not going to win me over threatening me. I ain't afraid of nobody, I'm here to learn, to be open-minded, and to make a decision based on what the public here wants. Ward said it, our job is to represent you. And the only difference between you and me in this town hall is that I have almost immediate access to this staff, whereas you have to make an appointment. I don't own a gun. Well, I got 2 guns, my dad died and left me 2 rifles. I don't have any bullets. So this is not, I don't have a dog in this fight really, like some of you folks do. I've never been hunting, so I don't know about that stuff. But I respect everybody's right. And I think one of the statements that was made, I think is pretty true because of my experience with the League of Cities and with the things. And the other thing I took offense to was this idea that we need to focus on our job about taking care of the citizens and making care of. We do that every damn day we're up here.
Yes.
We do that. We take this job seriously, and to insinuate that anything else, that when you, the people, come to me and ask me to take a position on something, I'm not letting go of my other responsibilities here. I'm trying to listen to you and be responsive to that, I've seen that thing, I've seen the thing that happens in Sacramento. And with a supermajority, Greg is right. They can pass whatever the hell they want down there, I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat. I'm a declined state. I'm an independent guy from the 60s down to the San Francisco Bay Area, so I tend to be a little bit radical. But you know what? Those guys in Sacramento are crazy, man. Our government is the problem. We are part of that. We are the government. And sometimes we make decisions y'all don't like. We try to make decisions in the best interest of the greater good of the community as a whole. We just don't rubber stamp what Washington or Sacramento tells us. It's tough. It's just tough doing that stuff. Again, I appreciate all of you that spoke. I didn't like what some of you said. I didn't like the way you made me feel, and I'm telling you that because I believe in telling the truth. It's nothing personal. But I really appreciate the respect and what the Tea Party has been doing. And you know what? It's like people talk about the partisan and all that stuff. I don't know. I have a lot of opinions and I can be real whack about stuff. But one of the deals is that, I was elected by a majority of the people here to sit up here and represent all the people in the Town of Paradise, whether I agree with you or disagree with you. And so when you all show up in force and you show up in numbers, you say, this is something we'd like us to do, I don't have a problem doing this. I don't have a problem doing this because I was talking to a colleague earlier in the week, because it's the right thing to do. I don't have any control over D.C. or over Sacramento. But the bottom line is that we make statements all the time up here. We do it with our ordinances. We do it with, we do it with our membership in the league. We go down here and vote on stuff on the state. Town of Paradise says yes to this or no to that. Y'all don't even know about that stuff. It's nothing bad, though, I guarantee you. But you know, so anyway, I don't know, I'm starting to ramble. I just, you know, I appreciate what everybody brought, how you brought it. To me, you know, it's a lot better than what it was back in the garbage days with a lot of people hollering and screaming and all that stuff. You know, you made your point, you made it well, and you won the meeting, so that's it for me. Okay. And I'll make a motion.
Excuse me,
okay.
do I get to say it?
Well, I was trying to get a motion in there before you spoke, and I didn't.
Maybe you don't want to hear it from me.
No.
Maybe I don't want to say anything. Yes.
3 minutes.
Well, I gotta say, in my 12 years on the council, we haven't taken a position on items that are in the state, you know, a state item or a federal item that we don't have control over and that we don't get any input on. And I'd be concerned with, well, I am a strong supporter of the Second Amendment. I'm a gun owner. I was out shooting with my buddy and our sons over the weekend, and I say I support the Second Amendment, and I support the principles as stated here, and I support my friend Sheriff Smith, who took a stand. His job is dealing with people with guns, both good guys with guns and bad guys with guns, and that's his job. He's elected as our sheriff, as the top lawman in the county to do that, although Mike Ramsey probably tried to say he was the top lawman, but I'll give that to Gary. So I don't want to go down the road of when we take a stand on one amendment, I'm concerned about belittling the rest of our Constitution. I've taken this oath of office up here 4 times, and I have never on any day forgotten that, and I would resent anybody that would suggest that maybe we have something in the back of our mind where we don't support our Constitution, and every amendment, every piece of the Bill of Rights is important as every one is as important as the other. And since 1791, the Second Amendment has not been without controversy and lawsuit, and it's been under attack, and people have debated, you know, what those words mean. The right of the, you know, to have a well-regulated militia, and did that mean that I'm as an individual or a member of a militia, or is it an organization? So I don't think what's going on today, you know, if you read back through history and all the attacks on the Second Amendment, I don't think it's any different than what's been going on since 1791. It was almost instantly controversial. So I have a problem with us taking a position on a single item. Like I say, I support the Constitution, the entire thing. I support the Second Amendment and all the other amendments. So I don't want to go down the road of Chico and Berkeley and Davis and San Francisco that take stands on national issues. I'm willing to take a stand personally and say I support the Second Amendment, but I don't believe it's the place for the town council. I respect the comments made from both opponents and supporters of this, and I appreciate how respectfully most everybody was tonight, and I thank you for that. So that's how that's how I feel about it, you know, personally. But that's where I'm at.
Okay, I got a follow-up comment. Okay, you said that.
I don't know if I'm allowing follow-up.
No, you can't. You said it. Well, I'm going to precede my motion with this comment. You said like you're 12 years on the council. When I was new on the council, there was a thing called the Coyote accords, and I voted, and I got the council to vote for that. That was something that we had no thing about. Well, I've got more grief about that, but anyway. But you
Okay,
know,
so we made a mistake once by doing that.
Okay, wait, hold on.
Okay, we made a mistake, we shouldn't do it again.
In my 12 years, we've never done this. Okay, we've also never had a female police chief before in the history of the town. We've also never had a female town manager or interim town manager in the history of the town. So it's about change. You know, I got chastised this last week over a table because I resisted change here at Town Hall. And I'm that kind of guy. I hate change. I resist it. I really like it, but I resist it to begin with. So it is about change, and I'll shut up with that. But I will make a motion that we do this. If a motion is in order, Mr. Vice Mayor.
Have at it.
Then I make a motion that we adopt a resolution.
I know that Mayor Titus was disappointed he wasn't able to.
I know. But rather than
because
table
he had,
rather than table it, I'll just make the motion, you know, that we, resolution number 13-17, as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion and second.
Motion by Bullock, seconded by Bolin, and
I don't know that it needs to be a roll call, but we will just for grant, we'll do it just for.
Yeah, resolutions require a roll call.
Huh?
Resolutions
Oh,
require
okay,
a
all right.
roll call.
Have it out.
Councilmember Bolin.
Aye.
Councilmember Cullen.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Lott.
Respectfully, no.
Councilmember Rawlings.
Respectfully, aye.
And Mayor Titus is absent. Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. Okay.